After lunch on July 5th, we all drove to Vinderup to visit the Hjerl Hede open-air museum. I will post pictures of some of the great buildings that have been moved to Hjerl Hede from all of Denmark. Most of them are between 200 and 250 years old. There is one building called Denmark's oldest farmhouse, which is almost 500 years old. Each building had a sign with information pertaining to the place they came from, when they were built and what they were used for, and a description of what you were going to see inside or around them. This descriptive information was posted in Danish, German and English, and I took a picture of each sign. Of course, I have posted only the English captions. In many cases, the description covers more items than shown in my photographs. For that, I apologize. Just use your imagination, as I just could not go about taking pictures of every piece of furniture or item mentioned in each description. The Vinkel farmhouse is Denmark's oldest farmhouse, built around 1530 in Vinkel near Viborg. The interior of the Vinkel farmhouse. The water mill was built as a copy of Karmark Mill, one of the most beautiful mill houses of that era in Denmark. The watermill interior. Dominated by the very huge grinders and wooden cogwheels, the equipment comes from Eriksholm Mill near Vejle. The mill operates for short periods by water from the village pond. The mill still produces flour. Smithy, built in Vesterkirby east of Odense around 1700. It belonged to the Ostergaard state and was handed down from mother to daughter for 4 generations, as one blacksmith's daughter after another married another blacksmith. The village inn buildings come from Skovsgarde, south of Bogense. The inn dates from circa 1750. This sign meant the establishment was approved by the king. Through the porch you enter the store. In former times it was commonplace for the innkeeper to also act as a licensed purveyor of spirits. Alongside the country inn, there was always a traveler's stable. Traveling journeyman's room. The outhouse. The building from Kobosted near Skive is a typical moorland farm with a flimsy timber frame construction, completely whitewashed. The farmhouse dates from 1813, and the construction and furnishings are good representation of how poor the Jutland moorland peasant was. The post mill from Froslev was originally built in 1778 on the island of Zealand. The mill is rotated with the aid of the winch, which is connected to the mill's stairway with an iron chain. The sails are 20 meters long, and in a suitable wind, the mill's output is estimated at 15 to 18 barrels of corn per hour. The Romanesque church is a reconstruction of the Romanesque style of church, which was built in Denmark in the 1100s. Thioring Church, north of Herning, served as a model. On the wall inside the doors are the holy water bowls, while in the middle of the floor there is a baptismal font from East Jutland, dating back to the 13th century. The nave measures 40 by 25 Roman feet, and the font is a so-called lion font. The original granite font was painted in vivid colors in 1992. This restoration was based on color traces found on other Romanesque fonts. On the communion table, which is a copy of the one at Tomerby, there are two candlesticks from Bisbee, and a figure of Christ, which is a copy of a crucifix in Abbey Church. The crucifix is carved in oak and decorated with ornamental gilt copper plate. The chancel measures 19 by 19 Roman feet. Interesting door and door knocker. The church bell is a copy of the bell at Smålerup, the oldest in Denmark. The bell rings for church services and during the summer when villagers make the old days come alive. It rang for us when we visited. The school was built in 1823 in the village of Hinge near Silkeborg and was used as a school until 1863. The classroom contains two types of desks and an old lectern from a school in the parish of Sevel, which has been closed down. The parish clerk's dwelling is divided up into a living room and a bedroom, which was rather unusual at the time. Original glass from the 1800s. In the small separated building there are girls' and boys' toilets. The Sule garden. The name comes from the Højsuller, or the posts which support the roof construction. The timber comes from shipwrecks. There are masts, yards, frames and booms in the supporting construction. This is a typical West Jutland farm from the 18th century. The building was constructed in the early 1800s in Svinsager near Horsens. Once it housed a shop, dwelling quarters for the merchant, and also a small workshop with its own apartment. The shop dates from the early decades of the 1900s and is stocked with a selection of goods from that time. The outhouse. The Manor Dairy is Denmark's smallest dairy, built in 1897. The Alfa Laval centrifuge from 1883. The Danish Holstein cream agitator to convert cream into butter. There were 27 farmers with a total of 120 cows who delivered milk to the dairy. The Miesing house is from the village of Miesing, near Skanderborg. It was built in 1970 as the village's first school. In the period 1936-1968, it was used as a museum, housing the collection of shoemaker Ansgar Andersen. The Cooper's house from Hornsild was built in 1879 and was formerly situated in the village of Hornsild near Vejle. The Cooper produced tubs, vats, butter tubs and barrels. The rope walk is from the island of Fur in Limfjorden. In the rope maker's workshop, the raw materials are hackled so that the fibers are laid in the same direction prior to the spinning. Along the rope walk there is a row of poles on which the rope maker placed his stake heads, wooden combs, which were to carry the finished yarns before they were spun into cord or rope. The bakery was originally situated in the village of Raunkilde in Himmerland. The building dates back to 1882. The building's interior is dominated by the large tube furnace from Strømmen in Randers. The vicarage from North Orslev near Randers is mentioned for the first time in the Aarhus Episcopal Archives in 1661. The parish at that time is described as greatly impoverished, and the vicarage was dependent on assistance from nearby Klosholm Manor, as the smallholders in the parish of North Orslev produced little in the way of crops. This timber-framed wing originates from the rectory in North Orslev near Randers. It dates from before 1800s, but was rebuilt in the middle 1840s. The building housed a pit shed, a sheep pen, a coach house and rooms for those preparing for confirmation. Young grey lag geese. Here the game would be hung to allow the meat to ripen, where it would be safe from the fox. The forester's farmhouse is from Field Forest, southeast of Randers, where it was built in July 1850. The windmill was constructed in 1920 and is the type that automatically keeps in the wind by means of a small wind wheel, which continually ensures that the mill is rotated to catch optimal wind force. The interior of the forester's manor. The shelters. The ice house from Skafjord near Randers was constructed in 1883 in order to be able to preserve the ice that was cut from the moat surrounding the estate. The steam traction engine, which was built in England, drives a block saw from Virkeland sawmill south of Silkeborg, a band saw and a frame saw, which together with the slewing crane next to the water tank are from Sunderland sawmill in Holstebro. The Neolithic age in Denmark lasted from about 4000 to 1800 BC. Until then, people had been living on a hunter-gathered diet, but now began the cultivation of plants and the domestication of wild animals. The Stone Age drive shows what everyday life may have been like at a Neolithic settlement about 5,000 years ago. The houses at the settlement have been reconstructed from finds in the island of Bornholm, where 3 long houses dating from about 2400 BC have been excavated. The houses in Bornholm were up to 18 meters long and 7 meters wide, large enough to accommodate an extended family plus tools and supplies.
Fire, 5, 6, 7, 8 er der. 8. Kan I huske, der var 8 svaner, da vi var ude ved, vi var oppe ved Humborg. Nå, der var
There you go, 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 girl, go! Go, go!
You can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.